Bien, chers confrères, bonjour. Nous entrons dans la dernière ligne droite de notre séminaire, un séminaire qui a apporté beaucoup de fruits et dont les fruits vont continuer certainement à nous accompagner dans la vie de nos entités. Ce matin, nous avons plusieurs articulations. Nous commencerons par écouter l'équipe, les coordinateurs des commissions continentales qui ont préparé pour nous le message final. Après l'écoute de ce message, nous allons l'évaluer ensemble et l'approuver. Après cette équipe pour le message final, nous aurons le temps d'écouter les impressions de la commission de relecture des procès-verbaux de ce séminaire. Et après cette relecture aussi, nous approuverons les procès-verbaux. Puis nous passerons à une seconde étape de notre matinée portée sur des communications. À ce moment, vous aurez la teneur de ce qu'il en ressort. Après la communication, nous aurons un temps d'évaluation de ce séminaire. On ne pourra pas donner la parole à tout le monde parce que la commission d'information, de communication a déjà envoyé à chacun de nous un lien pour évaluer. Mais ici en séance, quelques-uns prendront la parole pour nous donner leur impression et surtout les fruits qu'ils ont gardés de ce séminaire. Après cette séance d'évaluation, nous aurons des allocutions de conclusion. Le responsable, le président de ce séminaire et bien sûr le supérieur général qui nous donnera un mot de fin. Ceci dit, entrons dans notre matinée en saluant un de nos frères à qui le Seigneur a fait aujourd'hui le don de la vie. J'appelle le Père Mathéos. Por favor, de pé. Parabéns, parabéns, parabéns e muitas abenções. Alors, sans plus tarder, j'appelle la commission pour le message final, ou le représentant. Père Antonio.
The presidents of the local commissions of theology, we met together and we tried to do this final message. It's a draft, and after reading, you can change, add, or cancel something if you are not agree with this statement. Now I begin to read. Message to the Dehonian family at the 7th International Theological Seminar. Dear Dehonian family, with deep joy and heartful gratitude, we address all of you as we conclude the 7th International Theological Seminar held from July 13th to August 4th, 2026 at the Faculdade Dehoniana and the Conventinho in Taubaté, Brazil. This gathering took place in the context of two significant jubilees: the centennial of Father Dehon's death, 2025, and the 150th anniversary of the congregation's founding, 2028. These milestones are not merely historical commemorations. They are a gracious invitation to return to our roots with thankful hearts and to allow our charism to bear fruit in the world today. Under the theme Father Dehon's in his writings, we approached his work with respect and a critical spirit, giving thanks for the opportunity to discover anew the man, priest, and founder who speaks to us through the text. Through the work of the Continental Theological Commissions, we gratefully recognize the main dimension of his legacy. In his letters, Africa helped us to see a warm and approachable man attentive to people, their struggles, and their vocational journeys. In his Notes quotidiennes, Europe helped us to encounter the founder interpreting history through providence in order to form his disciples. In his spiritual greetings, North America helped us to hear an invitation to a living union with the heart of Jesus, marked by self-offering, reparation, and service. In his social greetings, the Latin American Asian Commissions helped us to recognize a pastor deeply attentive to the wants of his time. His inner devotion was expressed through the pursuit of justice, the defense of worker dignity, and the defense of the poor. In this spirit, the Latin American Commission reflected on the social catechism, while the Asian Commission worked on Chronique du Sud-Est. The seminar reminds us with gratitude that every text must be understood within its historical context before being applied to our lives today. Furthermore, our working method presentation, followed by responses and dialogue between commissions, showed us that theological research is a shared and a synodal journey. The contribution of the commissions should not be understood as conclusions that close the possibility of understanding Father Dehon. Rather, each contribution opens new paths. We give thanks that the response of one commission to the contribution of another has helped us to perceive new perspectives and to deepen this study already begun. The diversity of continental voice does not dilute our identity, it enriches it. We express our heartfelt gratitude to the province of São Paulo for its generous hospitality, to the general government for its support, and to the Faculdade Dehoniana, the Conventinho, the organizers, and all the participants for their dedicated work. For all these gifts, we give thanks to God. The primary fruit of these days is a simple invitation. Let us read Father Dehon. Today, his readings are readily accessible to everyone on Dehon's dock. Language should no longer be a barrier thanks to the digital tools and reliable translations. Reading our founder means entering into dialogue with him. We invite all members of the Dehonian family, religious and lay, to give time in our communities to reading and deepen our core concepts: pure love, oblations, reparation, the interior life, and the reign of the heart of Jesus, and to reinterpret them for today's world. As we move toward our 150th anniversary, let us go beyond nostalgic remembrancing. With grateful hearts, let us honor Father Dehon by allowing the love of the heart of Jesus to live on in us through concrete acts of fraternity, justice, and service. We entrust the fruit of these seminars to the hearts of Jesus. With thanksgiving, we ask that the Spirit of Father Dehon continue to accompany us and that the heart of Christ reign in our hearts, our communities, and our missions. Vivat cor Jesu, per cor Maria.
Thank you, Father Antonio, and we are very thankful to the coordinators of the Continental Commission who took their time to prepare this summary for us. Now we will take a few minutes to reflect on what we listened, and then we will go through once more, paragraph by paragraph, to see you have something to add, to modify, or to give your own opinion. At the end, we will proceed to the approval. English, I think we are almost there. Now, we proceed on this way. If someone have a general observation, is a moment to express it, mostly one or two people, and then we return to the reading paragraph by paragraph. Eduardo?
So it's not a central topic, but I live in this house, and the name of this house is not Conventinho. This is a effective way to call our house, and it's very known for our people in Taubaté, but our official name is Convento Sagrado Coração de Jesus. I don't know if it's good to change.
Thank you, we correct it. Yes, now it's just to see if by reading the whole, the whole text, there is a particular observation on the text. After we go through the paragraph to see. We will come there. We will come, paragraph, paragraph. Okay. Victor?
Falo em português. Considerando o texto em geral, cujo conteúdo acho que é bom, eu sinto falta de uma referência explícita no texto à questão metodológica, que eu acho que foi muito importante na dinâmica deste seminário. Seja explicitamente mostrar no texto o método que nós seguimos, com o autor implícito, o leitor simulado, porque eu acho que isso foi realmente muito importante para guiar todo o trabalho. Mas também aquela reflexão que apareceu diversas vezes nas partilhas sobre a importância de haver um método, de ter um método para ler Dehon, que eu acho que isso também é um resultado do seminário. Vivendo a experiência de uma leitura guiada por um método, nós nos demos conta que é sempre muito importante ter um método de leitura para nos aproximarmos a Dehon por meio dos seus escritos. Então, eu acho que este é um elemento, de modo geral, que deveria aparecer na mensagem e que não aparece.
Obrigado. Somebody else, general observation of the text, like the kind Victor just giving us. Okay. Now we went back to the message, paragraph by paragraph, and listen to your observations.
Okay, first paragraph. With deep joy and heartfelt gratitude, we address all of you as we conclude the 7th International Theological Seminar, held from July 30 to August 4, 2026, at the Faculdade Dehoniana and the Convento Sagrado Coração de Jesus in Taubaté, Brazil.
Eu falo em português. Aproveitando o comentário que o padre Nelber fez aqui do meu lado, e também, talvez nessa parte introdutória, seria interessante mencionar a participação dos leigos durante esse seminário e também, de um modo bem específico, dos formadores, porque acho que é uma coisa muito interessante deste nosso seminário deste ano, esse 7º seminário. Talvez fosse uma ideia interessante mencionar a participação dos formadores e também dos leigos da família dehoniana neste seminário.
Apenas uma sugestão: seria possível projetar o texto em inglês na tela? Porque a tradução em português tem muitos termos que não conferem com o original, né?
Tem alguma coisa sobre o primeiro parágrafo? Não. Ok. Passamos ao segundo parágrafo.
This gathering took place in the context of two significant jubilees: the centennials of Father Leon Dehon's death, 2025, and the 105th anniversary of the congregation's founding, 2028. These milestones are not merely historical commemoration. They are gracious invitations to return to our roots with thankful hearts and to allow our charism to bear fruit in the world today.
Observations?
These milestones are not merely historical commemoration. I think this sentence is not necessary. They are gracious invitation, and go ahead. It's enough. The paragraph will be clean, I think.
The third paragraph.
Under the theme Father Dehon in his readings, we approached his work with respect and a critical spirit, giving thanks for the opportunity to discover a new man, priest, and founder who speaks to us through the text.
Michel.
In English, I think that it's important to mention here the method used by the seminar clearly, because it was quite interesting to see how we approached Father Dehon differently compared to the historical approach that we are used to. Okay, thank you.
Josimar.
Falo em português. Penso que algo importante a ser acrescentado ali, quando diz que nós nos aproximamos dos escritos do fundador com respeito e espírito crítico, uma terceira característica é fidelidade criativa, porque além de respeito e espírito crítico, nós estamos aqui para ser fiéis e também criativamente ler estes escritos para que no mundo de hoje continuem a ter sentido para nós.
Judith?
In English, I want to add the points about method to add in this place. A proposal, maybe we can put the theme in the guideline, as here said, exploring the implied authorial presence of Leon Dehon in his various writings, and adding the more particular method that we use to explore that. Thank you.
Thank you. Emerson? Was the same. Stefan Tertunt?
First, I would propose to, I do not know how it is exact in English, to put the title in italics. And then the title is not Father Dehon in his writings, but Father Dehon in his texts.
William?
English, just to profit from what Stefan just said. So under the theme, Father Dehon in his texts, then we continue to the end of the sentence, priest and founder who speaks to us through his writings. Then this way, you're not repeating the same term twice.
Thank you. Emmanuel Nandu?
I feel the second sentence where it is written, the opportunity to discover anew the man, priest and founder, maybe I feel they're restricting the totality of the person of Father Dehon whom we discovered or whom we have discussed during these days. Maybe it would be nice maybe even to add that historicity or Dehon as a religious and etc. Now there are other aspects that we have discovered during these days.
Thank you. Okay. Joseph, maybe the last word on this paragraph and we go forward.
Instead of saying in his letters, let us say in his correspondence, because the letters we did not explore all the letters, and correspondence is already a title in the endorse.
Okay, I think this paragraph received enough observations, and I hope that the committee will take care of that and build something new for us. Okay, we go forward to the fourth paragraph.
Through the work of the Continental Theological Commission, we gratefully recognize the missions of his legacy. I will read the missions and we can correct all the missions. In his letters, Africa helped us to see a warm and approachable man, attentive to people, their struggles, and their vocational journeys. In his Notes Quotidiennes, Europe helped us to encounter the founder interpreting history through providence in order to form his disciples. In his spiritual writings, North America helped us to hear an invitation to a living union with the heart of Jesus, marked by self-offering, reparation, and service. In his social readings, the Latin American and Asian Commission helped us to recognize a pastor deeply attentive to the wants of his time. His inner devotion was expressed through the pursuit of justice and the defense of workers' dignity and the defense of the poor. In this spirit, the Latin American Commission reflected on the social catechism, while the Asian Commission worked on Chronique du Sud-Est.
Observation, John?
I have two observations. In the North American paragraph, I would prefer that we use the traditional word instead of self-offering, use oblation. And in the next one, in the social writings, here you have included the respondent, the Asian Commission. Not that I want to denigrate the Asian Commission's contribution, but I think we did not do it in the other text. The respondents are not mentioned, so I thought maybe we should not mention them here either.
Stefano Zamboni.
In italiano. Propongo di sostituire Africa, Europa e Nord America con African Commission, European Commission, e poi in realtà quando si parla di scritti sociali l'Asia non compare in quanto commissione che risponde, perché anche loro hanno affrontato un tema sociale, quindi questo è un po' il motivo per cui sono messe insieme. E forse se abbassiamo un po' l'ultima frase, se si abbassa un po' lo schermo, se si va, sì, salire un po' con lo schermo.
José? A subire?
Sì, un po' ancora. No, un po' più basso. Ecco. Ecco, forse la frase "In this spirit the Latin American Commission reflected on", eccetera, è una ripetizione di quanto si dice sopra. Forse questo si potrebbe togliere quest'ultima frase, "in this spirit", fino alla fine.
Okay. Victor?
Falo em português. Eu sou de acordo um pouco com o que disse Padre John, que deveria se distinguir em dois pontos diversos o que é a Comissão Latino-Americana e Comissão Asiática, até por uma questão de respeito ao trabalho que cada comissão fez. Foram apresentações distintas, né? Talvez poderia se considerar o trabalho da Ásia não sobre escritos sociais, mas sobre os artigos, sobre o Dehon como publicista ou algo nesse sentido. E daí sim daria para fazer uma separação. Depois só uma correção, o nome da revista é La Chronique du Sud-Est. Este lá é importante aparecer, porque é o nome da revista, assim como Le Règne do Sacré-Cœur.
Obrigado. We move to the next paragraph.
I don't know if we can vote because there is a proposal to separate Latin America and Asia, and there is another proposal to put together. We have to decide, because if we want to correct, I need to know what I have to do.
Yes, I think you are a commission, and then when you go back to the commission, you will see the better way to express it.
Okay, as commission, okay.
Em português.
Maybe Stefan? Okay, William, go ahead.
Em português, uma sugestão talvez também ajudaria se caso for aprovada a separação das comissões, em um parágrafo abaixo da Comissão Asiática, de mencionar, por exemplo, em seus escritos espirituais, de dizer Coron d'amour, porque, na verdade, nós nos dedicamos, nós nos concentramos numa obra específica, não em todos os escritos espirituais, e assim por diante nos outros também. Assim ficaria mais claro o que de fato foi feito por cada comissão teológica e depois o que foi trabalhado aqui no nosso seminário.
Stefan? Was the same? Okay, thank you.
Next paragraph. The seminar reminded us with gratitude that every text must be understood within its historical context before being applied to our lives today. Furthermore, our working method, presentation, followed by responses and dialogue between commissions, showed us that theological research is a shared and a synodal journey.
The seminar reminds us with gratitude. I think this expression with gratitude is not necessary there. The seminar reminds us, but gratitude is important in the letter, but I suppose not here. And following dialogue between commissions, I suppose it would be dialogue between groups or studies groups. No commissions.
Okay. I think we are okay with that of this paragraph. We can move forward.
I want to respond. Okay. The contribution of the Commission should not be understood as conclusions that close the possibility of understanding Father Dehon. Rather, each contribution opens new paths. We give thanks that the response of one Commission to the contribution of another has helped us to perceive new perspectives and deepen the study already begun. The diversity of continental voices does not dilute our identity, it enriches it.
Josimar? And then Ziggy.
Em português, peço desculpas por retornar ao parágrafo anterior, é que eu consultei aqui os assistentes de língua estrangeira, que são muito mais hábeis do que eu, no sentido de que by responses and dialogue between commissions, between duas comissões. Então, penso que a palavra melhor seja among, three or more.
Just to remind us that for the question of expressions, after that, maybe those on the mother tongue will review the text. That don't worry, we are now looking for the essential of the text. For the question of vocabulary and so on, someone will review the text after. Okay, Ziggy?
The sentence, we give thanks that the response of the Commission and so forth, to give thanks to whom? I mean, it seems to me incomplete. We give thanks.
We move to the next paragraph.
We express our heartfelt gratitude to the province of São Paulo for its generous hospitality, to the general government for its support, and to the Faculdade Dehoniana, the Convento do Sagrado Coração, the organizers, and all the participants for their dedicated work. For all these gifts, we give thanks to God.
Gustave.
Je parlerai en français. Je pense que la logique voudrait ici qu'on commence par quelque chose du plus grand au plus petit. Alors moi, je changerai l'ordre. Je commencerai par le gouvernement général, la province du Brésil et la faculté.
William.
Em português, também talvez fosse interessante dizer, de fato, como se chama a província, né? Gratidão à província Brasil São Paulo. Or in English, gratitude to the Brazil São Paulo province, not the province of São Paulo, because for some people it might sound the state of São Paulo. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
We move to the next paragraph.
The primary fruit of these days is a simple invitation. Let us read Father Dehon. Today his writings are readily accessible to everyone on Dehon Docs. Language should not longer be a barrier, thanks to digital tools and reliable translations. Reading our founder means entering into dialogue with him. We invite all members of the Dehonian family, religious and lay, to give time in our communities to reading and deepen our core concepts, pure love, oblation, reparation, the interior lives, and the reign of the heart of Jesus, and to reinterpret them for today's world.
Ziggy?
All right. The language should not to digital for. All right, I repeat. I see the sentence language should not longer be a barrier and so forth. Necessary in this paragraph.
Okay, John?
Just a brief comment. The word you use is writings. I think it might be better to use text as we have throughout the seminar. Thank you.
Stefano?
Italiano, dove si dice che dobbiamo approfondire i nostri concetti fondamentali, si elencano una serie di concetti, ma non entra mai la questione sociale, o quantomeno in modo esplicito, perché è implicito, quindi aggiungere magari impegno sociale o qualcosa del genere.
Stefan?
Only a small detail. When you are speaking about writings accessible to everyone on Dehon Docs, if you take the name, then it must be Dehon Docs in one word without a point between Dehon and Docs. Or you indicate the website.
Josimar.
Em português. Apenas quando diz que nós devemos aprofundar os nossos conceitos principais, como puro amor e os demais, penso que neste nosso seminário nós tivemos alguns insights, algumas ideias de como reinterpretar para o mundo de hoje estes conceitos. Quem sabe nós deveríamos investigar um pouco aí nas atas e verificar alguns insights, algumas ideias, para não deixar somente às pessoas que vão ler este convite de ler Padre Dehon, mas também algo, um fruto conceitual, vamos dizer assim, daquilo que nós refletimos aqui nestes dias e que foi muito enriquecedor, na minha opinião.
Okay, we move to the next paragraph.
As we move toward our 150th anniversary, let us go beyond nostalgic remembrances. With grateful hearts, let us honor Father Dehon by allowing the love of the heart of Jesus to live in us through concrete acts of fraternity, justice, and service.
Okay, the paragraph is clear. We move to the next one.
We entrust the fruits of this seminary to the heart of Jesus. With thanksgiving, we ask that the Spirit of Father Dehon continue to accompany us and that the heart of Christ reign in our hearts, our communities, and our mission. We can correct Viva cor Jesu per cor Maria.
John? Okay, just to Bash.
As we address in the beginning of the letter or the final statement, as I remember, dear Dehonian family, I would conclude with saying that the heart of Christ reign in our hearts, our families, our communities, and our mission, something like that.
Okay. Now we pass already the text. I think I propose that we stop here with this exercise and give them, they will see with the secretaries and the notes that Antonio have taken, and together they will reformulate all the observation we just contribute now. I will call now Father Joseph Amere to give us some inlight or insight about the process verbal, the minutes of the seminar.
Français. Hier soir, Jérémy, Rodrigo et moi, nous nous sommes réunis pour partager nos impressions sur les actes, les minutes ou les procès-verbaux de l'ensemble de notre séminaire théologique. Et nous sommes arrivés tout de suite à la même conclusion. Ces minutes sont très bien écrites, détaillées, complètes et en même temps et très fidèles et en même temps synthétiques. Donc en principe, nous n'avions pas d'ajout à faire ou de correction à faire. Nous faisons juste une suggestion, c'est que la première fois où l'on parle des groupes de travail, l'on cite les différents membres de ces différents groupes, une fois au début, lors de la première session, je crois. Voilà. En tout cas, nous voulons féliciter, remercier chaleureusement pour leur travail vraiment extraordinaire les 3 secrétaires du groupe, de notre session. Merci beaucoup. Thanks a lot.
Nous remercions aussi, en français, nous remercions aussi l'équipe qui a relu pour nous les minutes de notre séminaire. Et c'était aussi un devoir pour chacun, parce que les minutes étaient déjà envoyées sur le groupe, de repasser, de relire. Est-ce qu'il y aurait une observation, une remarque de votre part après votre lecture des minutes, des procès-verbaux de nos assises? Ils peuvent vous concurrencer et dire des choses. Voilà. Donc, c'est dit que l'Assemblée confirme ce que vient de dire le Père Joseph et nous réitérons les remerciements à l'équipe du secrétariat ainsi qu'à cette commission qui a relu pour nous les procès-verbaux. Merci, Père Joseph. Alors, pour dire merci pour ce travail, je crois que c'est le moment d'approuver les procès-verbaux. Nous ferons après pour le message final. Maintenant, pour, juste en levant la main, approuver les procès-verbaux de nos assises. Voilà. Merci encore au secrétaire et à tous ceux qui ont aidé dans ce travail. Il nous reste encore une demi-heure avant la pause. Et pour pouvoir profiter du temps que nous avons, je voudrais passer au deuxième point, à la deuxième articulation de cette matinée, qui porte sur des communications. Par communication, nous entendons ici peut-être revenir sur des choses qui ont déjà été dites, mais surtout des choses que nous voudrions porter à cœur parce qu'elles méritent d'être présentées aussi dans nos entités. Alors pour les communications, je voudrais appeler le Père Emerson qui va nous parler des publications alors du centre d'édition Dehonien qui se trouve ici à Taubaté.
Je vais parler em português. Nos anos 50, nós tínhamos aqui em Taubaté a editora SCJ, o padre Pascal Lacroix era o diretor dessa editora. Quando ele morreu, algum tempo depois, morreu o irmão Evaristo, que trabalhava com ele, então tivemos um problema de leadership, de liderança, porque os dois que estavam à frente faleceram. Por volta de 5 anos atrás, nós recriamos a editora. O padre Joãozinho é o diretor e com a aprovação da província Brasil-São Paulo, nós recriamos a editora SCJ com alguns objetivos. O primeiro deles é difundir o patrimônio carismático de Padre Dehon, da congregação, e também difundir livros de espiritualidade. Publicamos vários livros de Padre Dehon, muitos de vocês foram visitar a nossa editora. Hoje, o nosso livro mais vendido é Coroas de Amor, o livreto, o pequeno livro, Crowns of Love, e também o livro, o grande comentário do Padre Dehon, que foi também aqui estudado. Publicamos vários outros livros de Padre Dehon, alguns até compraram os livros em nossa casa. Recentemente nós publicamos uma nova edição, uma reedição de Dehonianos em Oração, mais de 2.000 exemplares para servir às 3 províncias. Nós temos ciência de que a editora SCJ, ela serve a família dehoniana, as 3 províncias do Brasil e também outras entidades. Por exemplo, o livro de oração que nós usamos foi organizado pelo padre Eduardo Pugliese, mas foi publicado pela editora SCJ. Convido quem puder, após o almoço, a visitar a editora, a conhecer, a criar parcerias, a nos ajudar, a sugerir livros. No final de agosto, nós iremos publicar um livro sobre Teresinha de Lisieux. E o impacto de Teresinha de Lisieux, um dos capítulos do livro, fala sobre o impacto de Teresinha na vida de Padre Dehon. Então, embora o livro seja sobre Teresinha de Lisieux, nós iremos também abordar Padre Dehon. Ainda esse ano, queremos publicar um livro do Padre Prévost, em português. Esse livro é muito, Amor, Paz e Alegria, é muito lido no Brasil. Inclusive, uma outra editora publicou sem a nossa licença. E o último livro do Padre Dehon que nós iremos publicar esse ano é Retiro do Sagrado Coração de Jesus. Então, concluindo essa comunicação, quero convidá-los a, quando puderem, visitar a editora, que também é uma editora de cada um de vocês. Muito obrigado, Padre Charles.
Obrigado, Padre. En français, je crois que c'est une impulsion et surtout un bel exemple qui nous est donné par la province de Brésil, São Paulo. Nous savons qu'il y a des initiatives pareilles, par exemple aux États-Unis, Almad Mission dans l'Europe francophone, et d'autres provinces qui essayent. Je crois que c'est une invitation pour que nous continuions de promouvoir les textes du Père Dehon, les textes de la congrégation, par des publications qui sont nôtres. Je voudrais appeler aussi un de nos confrères qui, entre les 2 séminaires, a offert à la congrégation un trésor. Un trésor parce que lui aussi, avant ce séminaire, il nous a fait découvrir que la lecture du Père Dehon est peut-être une lecture accompagnée par une méthode. Et je parle du Père Victor, qui a commis une brillante thèse à l'Université pontificale grégorienne de Rome, qu'il nous donne en substance le fruit de son travail et surtout qu'il nous éclaire sur la méthode employée pour lire le Père Dehon. Victor.
Vou falar em português. Em primeiro lugar, obrigado pela possibilidade de apresentar o fruto aí do meu trabalho de pesquisa doutoral, concluído em 2024, publicado ano passado na coleção Studia Dehoniana, número 70. A tese foi escrita em italiano, mas a publicação foi feita em espanhol. E o texto também está disponível no Dehon Docs. Fala um pouquinho da origem, que talvez seja a coisa mais interessante. Eu fiz o percurso de especialização no Centro de Estudos, em Roma, junto com o padre Stefan Tertinti e o padre Juan José Arnaiz, que na época conduziam um pouco o programa também da Bolsa de Estudos. E algo que me inquietou muito, já desde o início do percurso que fizemos juntos, eu e o padre Emanuel Nanduri, era a necessidade de encontrar um modo de interpretar e compreender com um método a experiência de fé de Padre Dehon, da qual falam as nossas constituições ao número 2. mesmo porque ao longo do percurso que fizemos de estudos, sentimos que era muito importante não ficar na generalização do termo, e que às vezes as palavras que estão ali nas constituições precisam ser compreendidas de forma mais profunda. Então aquilo me inquietou muito depois, quando eu tive a oportunidade de fazer o doutorado, também em diálogo com o professor na faculdade, na Universidade Gregoriana, que me acompanhou. Nós identificamos a possibilidade justamente de fazer um trabalho de leitura metodológica de Padre Dehon. E através de um método que nós desenvolvemos na Gregoriana, que serve justamente para compreender a experiência espiritual de uma pessoa. Então isso me fez logo pensar que seria a oportunidade de responder de alguma forma àquela inquietação suscitada no período dos estudos, no centro de estudos, sobre a importância de compreender a experiência de fé de Padre Dehon de uma forma com um rigor científico, acadêmico. Então essa era a intenção. O método é um método teológico decisional, é um método que tem bases muito inacianas, porque centra-se na questão da decisão, da escolha, da eleição, como um meio de ler a experiência espiritual de uma pessoa. Então o método segue aí um percurso que é muito fenomenológico, procurando analisar as decisões que marcam a vida de uma pessoa na sua experiência de fé, na sua experiência de vida cristã, e tomando sobretudo os escritos autobiográficos do fundador, ou seja, Notes sur l'histoire de ma vie et Notes quotidiennes, mas também outros textos em que ele fala de si mesmo, como por exemplo as suas cartas. Eu busquei justamente a partir destes textos recuperar as importantes decisões que marcaram a sua vida e perceber como essas decisões ajudam a fazer uma leitura do seu percurso de vida espiritual. E a partir disso também como essa leitura nos permite não só ter uma aproximação àquela espiritualidade do Padre Dehon, mas a sua experiência espiritual. Essa é a intenção. E como essa experiência vivida dialoga com aquilo que ele deixa como proposta espiritual para a nossa congregação e para a igreja. Então, o método procura apresentar aí os resultados dessa pesquisa, estão disponíveis aí na publicação, e para mim é uma alegria também poder oferecer fruto de um árduo trabalho de vários anos aí do doutorado, como fruto para a congregação.
Le travail du Père Victor est très inspirant et nous pensons que c'est aussi l'occasion pour les coordinateurs, pour les membres des commissions, une fois rentrés dans nos entités, d'encourager nos confrères à produire sur le Père Dehon et se servir des méthodes que nous présentons pour relire le Père Dehon. Nous savons qu'on a beaucoup de scholastica à travers la congrégation. Si dans chaque scholastica, les mémoires, au moins une dizaine s'orientaient vers le Père Dehon, on continuerait d'enrichir notre lecture et notre connaissance du fondateur. Nous passons d'un texte à un autre. Et cette fois, je voudrais appeler le Père John van der Engel, qui nous a inspirés dans ce séminaire à partir de ses recherches. On l'a dit au départ, c'est en travaillant sur l'amour, le pur amour, les couronnes d'amour, que le Père John arrivait à nous donner l'étincelle qui a fait naître le thème de ce séminaire. Alors le Père John a commis tout récemment un livre sur le pur amour. Nous voudrons qu'il nous en donne une synthèse, qu'il donne une esquisse des fruits de ses recherches.
Thank you. The proposal also for the seminar had a longer history. I began with a kind of a thesis in my head, or a hypothesis in my head, but trying to link the spirituality of the Sacred Heart with our social concerns. I thought, by reading Bourgeois' text on the latter part of Dehon's life, that I had found a link. And I thought at first it was pure love. Then I began to look at pure love in the texts of Dehon, discovered that this word appears 270 times in the text. So it's not a rare word, it's actually fairly central in Dehon's text. So I began to study. And I admit to you that my hypothesis was demolished by my reading, that subsequently I had to come to realize that Dehon meant something really quite different with the notion of pure love. That made me reflect back on my own experience, which I kind of reflect on in an introduction of this little booklet that I wrote. It's entitled Léon Dehon's Pure Love, Exploration into a Figure. I wanted to explore what does he mean by pure love. It led me to, in the first chapter, to go back to a number of people who served at Versailles under Louis XIV, and Madame Guyon and François Fénelon, who in the beginning of the 17th century began to explore how in this new time people could begin to react to life. And their perception was that this had to be initiated with the notion of pure love. They developed this quite intensely, even to the point that in 1697, their writings on pure love were condemned by Rome, and but not mentioning any names, just the notion that was there. In French spirituality, or in France, Fénelon has played an enormously important role as a spiritual guide. Father Dehon was aware, he does not directly quote Fénelon, but it's quite clear, because in this booklet I read this history of pure love in France, that Father Dehon took this notion and incorporated it within his writings, using the language that's there, but he never indicates where this language comes from. And so what I did, I reflected on pure love at the beginning of the modernity. That's just the first chapter. This is an examination really of the theory of Fénelon. Then I began to look in Father Dehon's text, Dehon's mysticism of the love of God, because I wanted to discover where this was located in Dehon's writings and what actually is the meaning. And in many ways, Dehon reflects this tradition of pure love. Because of the difficulty that also surrounds the notion of pure love, because it can be excessive and ultimately lead to difficulties, I think, in determining what is spiritual life, I decided also in a third chapter to say something about pure love today. There I have used as my main sources Jean-Luc Marion in his book Être donné, Being Given, and Jacques Derrida. on the notion of gift. And what I have attempted to do is to see whether or not this notion of that we find in Father Dehon can be translated into something for today. I don't know whether I succeeded, but I think it shows an indication of something that we need to do and that we may have hopefully occasion in the future to talk about a bit more, because I think this is fairly central to who we are in our reflection as Dehonians. Thank you.
Alors, une fois de plus, merci au Père John. Je crois que c'est une inspiration pour nous et comme pour tous les autres de nos provinces. On peut avoir un travail académique, mais aussi on peut avoir des recherches personnelles sur le Père Dehon ou sur notre spiritualité. Si chacun peut s'y engager, ce serait bénéfique. Nous sommes à quelques minutes de notre pause, mais avant, nous avons un exercice assez compliqué, je pense le plus compliqué de la journée, qui nous demandera de nous lever et nous avancer tous ici avant pour faire une première photo de famille. Après, nous irons faire une seconde photo de famille à l'extérieur et continuerons avec la pause et reviendrons ici en salle quand il sera 10h30. Je vous en prie. La première photo, c'est ici. La seconde, nous la ferons à l'extérieur.
Guys, will we take a new picture in the entrance of Faculdade Dehonian, please?